Hi, tribe. I have a
Hi.
beautiful surprise for you this week. I have Elle Klein here from Priestess Light.
Yes.
Sorry, words are not my friends still this week, so please, guys, bear with me. Alisha Brasher here from Cosmic Gateway.
She remembers her own names. We're friends, by the way. I'm allowed to say that.
So, a bit of a surprise. As you guys know from last update, I am having trouble with my articulation. Pulling information makes sense in my head, but it's not kind of connecting and coming out. So, a little funny story for you all just to kick off was I was actually went to bed 2 nights in a row thinking to myself, I actually don't know how I'm going to be able to record these videos this week. And of course, I get upset because I enjoy doing them so much for you guys. And I was like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And I was like, I could just record audios. No, that's crap. Oh, I could, and I couldn't work it out. And as always, the universe provides magical solutions. So
I'm a magical solution.
you are.
Oh my god, I like being a magical solution.
So basically, as I put that request out to the universe, thinking I need support because I don't know how I'm going to record this week, I got a phone call from my very dear friend, and she messaged me to ask if I would do an interview with her.
Yeah.
And my response was, not this week.
That actually was her response, seriously. It's exciting though. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
And so my response was, are you available tomorrow to record some videos with me? So here we are. So just to give you a bit of background, and it's really nice because we were talking about we've already pre-recorded the readings, so this is just the energy and intro video, but how beautiful, the themes that are playing out, from the 12-month cycle. And we were just, commenting on how 12 months ago we were recording. If you scroll all the way back in my YouTube feed to 12 months ago, you will see Al.
Yes, you will.
And
a much younger version of me. No, I'm kidding. Yes, you will see me.
And so it's quite interesting how things are coming into sight. Like there's a big theme about cycle completion playing out at the moment. I know that for a lot of people, in different areas. Some people are finalizing, end of, houses, relationships,
closures.
There's a lot of closures going on at the moment. People ending jobs and starting new projects. So it is kind of a tumultuous kind of time. If you kind of tap into the collective energy, there is a lot of confusion and chaos. And I think probably the one thing that has really stood out to me is this masculine energy that's been really present now for about four days, maybe even longer. And it feels like there's a big rewiring going on with the masculine. And when I say that, I'm talking about an energy. So I'm talking about an energy that we all inhabit. And part of that is, pressing on people more predominantly than others. So for me personally, it's had a lot of connection into the solar plexus, which I call, the masculine center. So there's a lot of stuff that's been going up, stomach cramps, stomach issues. But it's this converting from intuition into intellect, and then the output. And that's, I think...
And that came out in one of the readings, actually.
Yeah.
Taking that kind of like etheric information, downloading it, and then being able to actually hold it and push it out into wisdom for service, which was a big thing for us. And I think from the readings and the info and the channeling that I've been getting on my page and that I've seen from my immediate environment, the service aspect of it right now, when you're in either a tumultuous time, no clarity, haziness, that can be or that when it rains it pours, and there's all these things happening in your life and you're like, I just don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. Service. One particular reading that I've done a reading with all the chakra centers where you had to choose a chakra center that you identify with, and one of those was all about the fact that there's such a call out right now, because as the earth ascends, we are more and more and more feeling the call for our alignment, feeling the call for our mission, feeling the call for our highest potential, highest timeline. And so that will manifest in your soul, pulling you either away from something, towards something, but that can be incredibly confusing. And especially for star seeds, empaths, people that we're all spiritual beings, but people that were kind of born with that heightened
awareness
and feeling. You know, I know that for me, it's been like that my whole life. Like my whole life, I had this like almost like something on this, you know, distant mountain going, I need to get there somehow. So if you've taken the steps or haven't taken the steps, it doesn't matter. This call is going to keep kind of pulling at you. But what I'm getting at is, you know, a lot of people are sitting, rightly so, at what am I meant to do here? Why have I come here? What is my mission? Why am I here? And the really strong message that particular reading got was, if you're in that place of constantly going, why am I not in alignment? When will I, what is it? What, who, all that questioning, service.
Yeah.
Turn the I into we.
Yeah.
Okay, so put something out there for another. And a beautiful sentence that was channeled through, which for me, I actually wrote it down and I was like, whoa, because it doesn't come from me. It comes from, I'm a vet. We work through together. It comes through me. Was in order for one to understand, you must help another know. So it's just go. That's what we're here to do anyway. It's service. And I really got that through this aspect of service and doing something for others and sharing the wisdom that you've already gained and you've already learned, and you're such a powerhouse of wisdom. You will actually have beautiful answers kind of unfolding themselves without you realizing, because you might go, wow, I really like doing this, or I don't like doing this, or all these things that unless you have done it, you would never know. And just remember that we are oriented to help others because we are them. Yeah. We are all each other. And if you're helping another, you're helping yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So. I just want to add to that, because that's such a common theme, like at the moment. And as you would know, in last week's update energy video, you know, I've started to put together these programs, Light Workers Call to Duty, and it's basically helping people facilitate them into their spiritual practice and business and get going on their mission, and providing that over a series of weeks. So I just want to update you guys. Thank you for the emails and the interest. I have been really overwhelmed by that, and I'm still in the process of putting all the details together, and I will respond to you all once that's all come together. So at this stage, it may look at like a series of rollouts throughout February, March, and ongoing. But what I was getting from the feedback from that, and that's where I think Elle ties in really beautifully, is that I'm working with people who have you know, they have a bit of a direction. They kind of know what that calling is, and it's like bringing it alive. And Elle really specializes in doing soul readings, where she can kind of dive right in and get to the nuts and the bolts of, you know, what is the calling, and trying to kind of dissect it.
Yeah,
that's a great word. Yeah, dissecting what that is. So, you know, if you are feeling that, and I think I put that in a couple of posts this week, you know, that's this repetitive message is that the soul is calling louder and louder and louder, and we have to adhere to, or we adhere to that call, because that's what we've chosen to do in this lifetime, and we all work together. You're talking about the we, the unit, the I to the we, the unity consciousness, and we're all working towards that same beautiful goal. And let's get into the energy update, because like,
whoa. Oh, wasn't this the energy update? Oh my god.
just the energy of what's coming in at the moment. But you know, we're at such a critical point where so many people are being called to their divine missions, because that's what we came here for. And this is the fun part, but it can be hard from the human perspective to work out what that is.
That's right. And that can be very confusing. And I think from what I gather and what I understand, the information that I get, there's a really, really strong emphasis, and that came up in the readings again, balance, about resting. Because if you're in this heightened state of mind of, oh my God, like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, it's just this confusion without even realizing it. No matter what action you do, it's going to be heightened, it's not grounded. There was a very strong emphasis about grounding yourself, taking a breath. You know, that sometimes rest, I think a lot of people see rest as like a wasteful thing. It's not. You're recharging, you're putting yourself back in the plug, you're allowing your brain to shut down, because a lot of the times it's not our spirit that's confused. The brain just chatters and chatters and chatters and chatters, because that's how we facilitate information in this human body. Our brain is our, you know, our chest of information. That's how we facilitate. So the spirit's trying to talk, the brain's trying to kind of figure out what it's saying, and it's just, and the ascension energies and the solar winds and all of that in the mix, and you have one very confused human being. But if you take a breath, have a cup of tea, take that shower, take that bath, take that walk, go to the beach, go dancing, do something that make you realign. It's not, you don't need to be in that state of resolving things at all times. It's better to just let go and surrender for a bit so you get fresh perspective, and the inspiration will actually have space to flow through.
It flows through when we're, I think there was a message I put out last week. It rings a bell. It's like when you in that place, sometimes it's best to just take yourself away then come back. When you're in a more aligned space, because it allows things to flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about the energies, it feels like, you know, going back to what I was talking about before with the masculine energy and that kind of recalibration sensation of whatever's going through. As you were saying, it's like there's this multiple input that we're experiencing from, you know, the higher consciousness, the logic brain, and it feels like everything's trying to rewire, and it's like there's a little bit of a disconnect between the input and the output.
And the output. Case in point. No, I'm kidding.
Honestly. And thank you guys for your patience this week, because, you know, I have had to take that time, as I was talking about, I've had to take that time for myself to be able to find my own balance and new rhythm in this new heightened energy space. And we really are in such a heightened energy space. It feels like over the last 4 days, there's been quite a heavy, dense energy in this kind of reworking this masculine energy. And how I'll describe that is there's been bursts of anger, frustration, outrage. I'm just talking about myself here. Yeah, a lot of like logical mind stuff, confusion, and so it's kind of been, as that's been playing out, it's, you know, it reworks itself, it readjusts to that new frequency, and so we just have to ride that through. And today I actually woke up feeling like, whew, that it's cleared. It's clear. I still can't talk properly, but it's cleared. And literally about 2 hours ago, so what's the 14th? Oh, happy Valentine's.
Oh,
happy Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. Oh, thank you for being our Valentine's.
Yeah.
So the 14th of February, Melbourne time, about 2:30, I felt the next energy wave come through as I was preparing to sit down for us to record these videos, and I'm starting to feel that energy shake. Oh, I'm shaking the video. But it feels like that, you know, when we go through those periods of purging and releasing, it feels really uncomfortable. Of course, what happens is that release happens, and then that new wave of energy comes in, and it shifts our frequency. And I think we're in that phase right now. So the coming days are going to feel a lot lighter, a lot more refreshed, a lot more refined. And as we're moving forward now, so in less than a week, we've got the full moon energies. So we've got the supermoon coming up on the 19th.
Don't look at me, I don't know.
Yeah, on the 19th. So I will be running a transmission for that full moons, supermoon. It's a series of 3. So this is the midway one. Very powerful energy. So if you feel guided to join us for the transmission, I'll put the details where you can purchase a link to come and join that transmission. I'll put that in the description box below. But yeah, it feels like this powerful kind of energy that's building up towards this supermoon.
And I want to also, if you don't mind, I want to also say, the more we move towards March.
Yeah.
There's something, it's been coming up for a really long time, the number 3. I feel like the more we kind of moving out of Feb into March, there's some sort of gateway there that's almost like the entry point. So we're still doing a lot of work to clear, a lot of work to prepare, a lot of work to shed and realign and recalibrate, and taking all the information and actually, you know, understanding it and being able to use it for a reason. There's a reason why you're being called to do some sort of service right now, even if it's in the state of I don't know what to do, it's still service. So if you look at it from a higher perspective, you can see all the little clues that are already being placed in your path about how everything is actually already so much more aligned than you ever dreamed, really.
I guess as you were talking, as my perception, so here we go, guys, you know, kind of widens out, it's very much in line with that, because the way I see it from the bigger picture, and add to this, is like, I know, and a lot of us in this community are looking towards March, knowing that there's really powerful energies coming in. March last year was a powerhouse, and so I can only imagine what it's going to be like this year.
Buckle down, guys.
You know, last March, for those of you who did go through those, you know, rainbow wave events, the heightened energies, I know I went through that. A lot of people felt big shifts in March in various ways, depending on where you're at, and every person's experience is valid and individual, so there's no point in comparison. But March was a powerhouse. I actually locked myself in this room for 3 days to process that energy and that information. And so if that's anything to go by, I can understand why so many people are being called to action service right now.
Service, yeah.
Because, you know, if we're feeling the energy increasing and getting stronger and stronger, see the effect that's having on people who are newly awakening. So if you look at it like, I was similar to what I was saying last week, but if you look at it like a tier of being in service of helping, we've just been called to assist that new wave of people going into that next level of their ascension or awakening process, whatever that looks like for them. So
that's right.
That's kind of how I see that bigger picture.
Oh, that's a beautiful.
Yeah, you know that your experience on this journey of where you're at right now is valuable for the new group of souls who are just about to jump on a wild ride.
You guys, we're been here for a while. We used to be like the new kids on the block. We are no longer the new kids on the block.
Yeah, like the last.
Now we're young.
Yeah. But yeah, think about that and really take that message on and see what that looks like in your own life. Whether, you know, it is starting whatever your soul is asking you to step into. You know, if it's not a time of action, you know, balance that, as I was saying, balance that between action and rest, because we have to do that in this energetical climate.
Especially the in between.
Yeah.
Especially the in between energies. There's no point you pushing forward. The energy can't hold it right now. It's all about balance. You have to do the action and do the rest, or you have to have the intuition and have, you know, the output in a balanced way. It's not just about creating, and then being left completely void and empty and exhausted. It's about inspiration, input, action, output. Like, it's just this really beautiful balance. And you guys, I really feel like also this is a message that came through personally for me, but I'm kind of feeling like I need to share this. This is really about being on this, and this is something that a lot of people kind of like have a bit of an aversion to hearing, but you are living on a 3D planet, a physical, or what are we now, 45D?
Well, I was going to say that's debatable.
We're a little bit higher than that, but it's a physical planet. And so balance also means being in this world as well as being up.
It's a balancing act.
It's a balancing act, because I think a lot of people are either all up or all down, and it's really about finding the heaven and earth balance, about the daily tasks that you're doing, and that came up in the readings. Daily tasks that you're doing on this physical planet, together with taking the time to expand and take the time to assimilate and be present for yourself on the higher levels. So I think it's really all about that.
It's new levels of maneuvering multi-dimensionally. And I love that, you know, ascension or descension, because we're anchoring the light in. So it is about adjusting and living in new ways. And as I said, you know, anchoring that energy in to be able to balance both. And I love that term, walking between worlds.
Yeah, it's true.
We're constantly walking in between worlds, and that's changing, but really quickly, and who knows how that's going to continue to unfold. It's just exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
But this new levels of multi-dimensionality at the moment because of the energy increase, where I know myself, I feel like I've mastered a certain level, and now I'm learning a whole new way of functioning and maneuvering in this new energetical climate. So,
which is also quite physical.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
all right.
We love you. We would love to hear about how your experience has been over the last week. Have you noticed similar themes? What's coming up for you? What are you being called to do for service, and what does that look like?
Yeah.
As always, if you're guided to do any work with me, any energy sessions, the details of that will be in the description box below. But of course, as I was mentioning before, if you're at a point where you're wanting to have more understanding of what your soul mission is and get clarity on that, I would highly recommend to, connect with Al and book a session where you can go deep and
we also touch on, if you're in a divine counterpart relationship, sacred relationship, like there's many readings that you can look at, and I think a lot of the times the reading takes a life of itself. So if there's something needed, it will come through. So yeah.
So,
well, thank you.
Thank you. I'll put all the details of those different services in the description box below for both me and Al. And finally, let's get into the almost forgot. So for the readings for this week, which we have recorded already, tune in to which image you're guided to, and I will put the links to those individual readings below. So here we go. Here's A, so card A or reading A, and then we have B, reading B or card B, that one there. And then we have C, card C, or reading C. There we go. All right, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in with us. Hope you've enjoyed our collaboration this week. I know I've certainly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And sending you all so much love and support for this week. All right. Mwah. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.